60 to 29 rebounds, despite trading away one of your bigger players. What led to the success on the glass tonight?
Yeah, obviously Jace, that's something he's done at a high level. I think on a permanent basis, if you factor out some guys that are playing low minutes, he led the league in offensive rebounds, something he does really well, and it was more of a gang rebound mentality. And I think we did a really good job with that. I think if we keep doing that and boxing out and fighting, I think rebounding, we should be pretty good. I mean, we've been, offensive rebound rate's been top 2-3 in the league most of the year. Defensive's been about average. I think we can kind of maintain those numbers, hopefully.
Thoughts on Jordan and his debut for you guys?
Yeah, Jordan was great. I think he'll get more comfortable as he gets to know, but you guys can see like his ability to shoot, and a lot of guys' ability to shoot. Like I was thinking about how many guys we put on the court that you have to be pretty worried about shooting the three, some to a high level, some that can make open catch and shoot threes, and I thought he was really good. You can just tell, smart player even defensively. A lot of times he was just in the right spots, which is something that I think will really help us.
And then obviously what you saw at Dusty is what you see every day in practice and every game. Real hot start. Were you expecting that for 4 quarters?
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of zeroing in on him, and I think there's some things Dusty can continue to do a better job of. Especially when he gets going, he likes to kind of chase the ball, which is something he's done his whole life and scored really, really well. And I think if he can, with the lineups we can put on the court, get down the court into the corners more, where guys are stuck in a position like what Steph does, where he's down the court and out, do you help off of him or do you give up a guy roll into the rim? I think we can do a little bit better job of doing that and then putting them in some tough spots where he can continue to get some shots.
How much emphasis are you guys putting on improving Jace's offensive game?
Yeah, I mean, Jace, there's some things he obviously has to do a better job of. And he's gotten a lot better this year. I think a big credit to him, we had James Wiseman, and at that time, I think over a 10-game stretch, like he hardly played, and he was still in every day, getting better, working out. On the road, we'd go do shoot-arounds where it would just be him. Like we'd be on a back-to-back. He'd come in, he'd get a hard hour workout, and he's been improving. I think you'll continue to see him getting better.
You had 7 guys with 10 or more points. They got to within 9 early in the fourth quarter. What did the team wins there think for you guys?
Yeah, I think even, teams are going to make runs. Like at this level, everyone we play is going to be really good. But for us to be able to just keep doing the things we want to do, like if we can get to 9, if we just stay with things, we get it like we did today. We got it instead of letting it come down to 5, like it did in the first half, we were able to bump it right back up right away. I think as long as we keep staying together, defending, and taking care of the ball, we'll be able to withstand those runs when we get leads.
Dusty was telling Zena in the post game about the desire to sweep a back-to-back, and the way the schedule's set up, you are going to have to sweep some of these back-to-backs to get into the playoff picture. So what's going to be the key to taking 2 from Sioux Falls?
Yeah, which is obviously always harder to get a second one. I'm sure they'll come out, they'll be ready to go tomorrow. So we need to be locked in, and those are some things we can do a little bit better today and improve on that and take that into tomorrow.
It sounds so simple, just drive and create, but maybe get to the free throw line. Can you describe what you got? How important that was to shoot with that efficiency from the strike?
Yeah, obviously when you make those, especially when it's 1 for 2, that really helps. And that's something we've been emphasizing, and we've done a pretty good job with our free throw rate and getting there a decent amount and limiting the other teams by showing our hands. And I think as we put that space on the floor, we can put some teams in some pretty tough spots.
Being in the area locally with all of the weather and everything that's been going on, is that something that's hard to put out of your mind when you're coming into a game like this, or is that something that you think factors in?
Yeah, for me it was just a little harder when we were on the road. My wife was back here with our 2 kids. Dealing with it, everything was fine. Power only went out a little bit overnight, but being here and being around and being able to do that obviously helps. So then hopefully, for the community, we can, give them a little release where they can come to the game and get their mind off it. Even some guys on our staff have had a little bit of flooding in their house, and I know everyone's dealing with that. I think we got one more little stretch of rain, and then hopefully we get back to the weather we're accustomed to.
I know next week you guys are going to take a trip to Mexico City. Talk about that and just the G League kind of expanding internationally like that.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'm really excited. I've been to Mexico. I've never been to Mexico City. It's been somewhere I've really wanted to go, and especially I think as I moved to California, it's been on my radar a little bit more. So personally, I'm really looking forward to being there And, you know, I know we have 2 games, but just getting a little bit of time to see the city. My brother just went there on a work trip and just talked about how just as a city it's amazing and you don't realize. And I know the population there obviously being the biggest, largest population in North America, I'm sure it's something the NBA is interested in kind of seeing how it works. So it'll be cool to get in there, talk to, before a game against Oklahoma City, talk to one of their trainers because they had just came back from there. But I'm excited to go, you know, sample the food and do all that and obviously play them. They have a good team down there.
Jordan gets 29 minutes tonight in his first game with you. Were you expecting him to see that much?
Yeah, we had him penciled in that. Again, we had Jordan in Summer League 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm pretty familiar with him.
Well, how familiar was he with the playbook?
Yeah, I mean, for our guys, if we just move the ball and cut, and Jordan's smart, so he picked things up pretty easy, and we were able to get him in some spots where he wasn't like the primary guy in the action. When you shoot it that well, if you just go stand in the corner, they have to guard you or they don't, and you'll be open. But we wouldn't have traded for him if we weren't pretty excited about him being able to help us.
Are you expecting to see Baldwin Jr. return anytime soon? And if, when he does, what do you expect from him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. It's nothing serious, but again, want to make sure that he's all right. We'll see. Going into tomorrow, I think there's a chance he could play, but we'll kind of take that as it goes. And again, another guy, and I talked about this a little pregame. He's been playing some quote unquote 5 with the Warriors. I mean, tonight you saw a lot of our guys setting screens and kind of the way the NBA is going, but I think it's good for him to do that. It creates some advantages for him. It also gets him in the mix a little bit more, and he can work on some things defensively, switching, calling coverages, using his voice, and rebounding, which are all things that we have as kind of key performance indicators that we're trying to get out of him. So I think it's a great opportunity for him to play, and always, as always, like another guy that can really play and stretch the floor and has some size. So hopefully we get him soon, but it's nothing that I think is too big of a concern. Good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.